So here's the aftermath of what just happened. So I haven't started the RX-7 up in probably 2 months. Figured I'd start it up, let it warm up, get some oil flowing through it. Ran for a little bit, and I kind of smelled some gas, looked around. There's about a gallon of fuel sitting on the ground, just dumping out of the car. So it's obviously a little bit of a hazard. So I came up and I looked at my lines, and the line was completely wet, and there's a spot in it right about here where it bends easy and it feels kind of soft. So I'm going to cut these lines out and we'll see what they look like on the inside. So we'll chop it here. First thing I'll do is I'll get this braided outer line, and none of this is damaged. There's no chafe marks or anything. My assumption is that the line rotted, which is what we'll find out. This was brand new fuel line 6 months ago. It hasn't had any, I shouldn't say any ethanol in it. I had some standard 91 octane with 10% or whatever it is ethanol, which I actually took out before winter, and I put in non-ethanol gas specifically for this reason, so that there was no ethanol at all sitting in these lines over the winter, which isn't very long here, but so if this is rotted away, it rotted on regular fuel, which of course is not good. This outer braiding is actually harder to remove than I thought. It's sort of molded into the rubber. They must apply it and then reheat this or something. So what I've switched to is just cutting it straight down the middle, and hopefully I don't cut the exact spot the damage is in, but we'll see. This will give me a lot better view of what's inside here. Alright, so I split that first piece open. I don't really find anything. I cut another section out of the car, and I'm pretty sure I found what I'm looking for. Alright, so got this split open, and this rubber in here is deteriorated. Like if you just look at this right here, see how it's split? And I'm going to barely put any pressure and it just rips. I mean, I'm not even pulling on it. I just pulled the whole thing right in half, but if I go 2 inches away to this section, I can pretty much pull as hard as I want and barely rip it. And let's go to the, what I'll call the good section of hose where I didn't find anything. See if I can rip this one. I've messed with a lot of fuel line, and I've never been able to rip fuel line with my bare hands, so. Yeah, like this one. I know it still has the braiding in it, but like this section, well, I guess I can. Yeah, look at that. This stuff's just crap. But this part right here, I mean, it's just basically melted. And this was a low point where fuel was sitting in the line, which, like I said, I was pretty careful about not using ethanol fuel in this. So, and I stored it with 0% ethanol fuel from the local marina. So, definitely wasn't E85 or anything like that that melted this. But it's just straight gummy. You can see that you can just rip it up as much as you want. So that's what you get when you buy cheap fuel line. You get cheap fuel line. You potentially burn your car to the ground. Luckily this was back at the rear of the car, not near the exhaust. I got some of this ran probably 6 inches from one of the intake or the exhaust manifolds. If it would have leaked right there, this would have been a different scenario. Could have burned it to the ground. Yeah, see? Didn't even pull that one, and there it is, ripped already in half. So this must be right where the leak was. Alright, that was covers it there because I didn't pull it all and it was completely separated around the whole circumference. So there you go. Don't buy cheap crap.